Welcome back. In just hours, former special counsel Robert Mueller will testify before 2 House committees, and he won't be alone because Democrats granted an 11th hour request to have his deputy, or as the president put it, his never-Trumper lawyer, sitting beside him at the witness table. So what other surprises could be in store? Here with his predictions is senior legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation, Hans von Spakovsky. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Sure, thanks for having me.
So how unusual is it to have this additional person, another lawyer, in there today? Why is he needed, and what can we expect? What do we know about him?
Well, it's somewhat unusual, but it's not that unusual. I suspect that he's there for 2 reasons. One, remember, Bob Mueller was in charge of a very large staff. They did a 500-page report, and he may want to consult his former deputy if there are details he doesn't remember from the report. But remember, the other thing is he's gotten guidance, Mueller has, gotten guidance from the Justice Department to stick to what's in the report and his testimony, and I think his former deputy is probably there to make sure he does that.
Yeah, so his former deputy is named Aaron Zebley. Why is
Right.
President Trump referring to him as a never-Trumper?
Well, I actually think it was a mistake for Zebley to be there because I think it demonstrates the lack of judgment that Mueller showed. And the reason for that is, look, Zebley should never have been on the special counsel team. Why? I think he had a clear conflict of interest because he represented the IT contractor who was working for the opposition political candidate, Hillary Clinton, in setting up her home cooked server that violated so many rules and regulations of the State Department. And I think that's a conflict of interest. He never should have been in the special counsel team.
Yeah, and destroying her BlackBerry as well.
Right.
In terms of the investigation itself, I mean, 10 potential acts of obstruction of justice, none were found, multiple acts of capable of influencing probes. Mueller said that he wouldn't reach a decision on obstruction. Barr found evidence that was insufficient for obstruction charges, and then Barr highlighted that there was no underlying crime in the Mueller report. And as we said yesterday, the DOJ saying that Mueller can only talk about what was in the report.
Right. I think what we're going to get today, if Mueller sticks to that, is we're going to get the audio version of the Mueller report. If Democrats think they're going to get some kind of smoking gun out of there that they can, some kind of new evidence they can use against the president, I think they need to be prepared to be disappointed because I don't think they're going to get that.
Yeah, so the movie versus the book, the movie version,
Right.
A lot of folks are saying that. I do want to ask you about this other element that has been reported, claiming that former FBI Director James Comey was running this covert operation against President Trump. What do we know about that? What do you know about it?
Well, the reports are that he had an FBI agent working inside the White House who was reporting to him, but basically he had a mole inside the White House, and that he lied to the president, that is Comey did, when he told him he wasn't under investigation. If all of this is true, I'm afraid it shows once again the lack of professional judgment and the bias of the former head of the FBI.
Well, and he continually told the president that the president himself was not, in fact, under investigation, but had this individual, I think his name was Anthony Ferranti, if I'm saying that correctly. What was his role inside at the time?
Well, apparently he was there to see what was going on in the White House. We just don't know, but apparently he was there to report back to the head of the FBI of what's going on in inside the White House. And I think that violated very standard FBI rules and protocols and may have been unethical to do that.
Well, Hans, you going to watch all 5 hours today?
Unfortunately, yes, I am going to be watching it and listening.
I think we can't avoid it, some of us. Thank you so much. Appreciate you joining us this morning.